Good morning, everybody. It's an overcast, cloudy day here in the Philippines. The clouds are welcome, the overcast is welcome. Hurts me on the solar, but we survive. Um, it just puts out not as much, but we survive. That's part of it. That is part of it. Well, I gonna go up here and kind of get a late start on the morning here and show you what all is going on. I think they're actually taking their first break right now. So while they're stopping on break, I'm going to give you a little update of what is happening. Sorry, I stopped there like really quick because I seen them going on break and I had the drill, the cordless drill in my hand. They had brought it down a few minutes ago and said the motor was smoking on it. Well, they're removing a whole bunch of screws right now, 3-inch screws, right? And I instantly know why the motor's smoking, because you're straining the heck out of the drill. I have an impact here and a drill, and you're straining the heck out of the drill because you're doing it in high speed and you're not putting it in one where you have that lower gear and more torque. So just like in a car, if you try to take off in third or fourth gear, you're going to be smoking a clutch. Well, the same thing on an electric motor and on a drill like that. You're doing that real hard torque work and trying to take off with it in high gear, you're going to smoke the motor. So any of you out there that's new to using power tools like these guys are, there's your lesson there. There's a reason it has different speeds. Show you my beautiful plant right here. I bought this from a lady on the side of the road a couple months back, and I just really enjoy it. I got it hanging right out the back door here. And this is mostly just rice hull in here. Mostly just rice hull, and it dries out really fast. So you have to water this pretty often. And I want to show you here what I do. You see all that? That's not soil. That is coffee grounds. Every day when I use that French press and I need to dump the coffee grounds out of it, I add a little bit more water in there. I slosh it around, get it good and soupy, and I come out here and I pour it every single day in this plant. And you can see they've really built up there. And I kind of every once in a while mix and blend them down into the rice hull here as well. And that keeps this plant watered every single day. And believe it or not, it gets some nutrition as well from those decomposing coffee grounds in there. And apparently it is flourishing from it, because just look at that. Just look at that. Does that look like a happy plant or what? Very beautiful. I just walk out and enjoy this every single day. And Melinda, she's been potting stuff over here. You want to say hello, Melinda?
Hello, everyone.
Hold on, you were out of focus. Wait, what? Ooh, okay, there you go. And Miss Melinda's right here. We're about to go pick up Too Big. We're gonna go pick up some Too Big, some water. That's, for you that don't know, that's the word for water here in the Philippines. Too big.
Too big, yes.
Yeah. So Mel, she's been doing something here that I really like. I seen her out here doing it the other day. She's taking those coconut hull, the husk hull, whatever you want to call them, the shell off the coconut. She's getting that fiber, stripping it out, taking her scissors and chopping it up, and she's making like a cover in these pots. But you know what? They take that same stuff, and like with aquaponics, they'll make those little pots that fit in these either sheets or in pipes, these little baskets for growing plants in aquaponics. And they also use coconut fiber in that.
Well, the reason I put this one, I chose because instead of put the small stone, I rather to put this one, and they can breathe. The plants is really healthy.
It can breathe, yes. And I'm sure that it's going to decompose in there, yes, and add nutrients, as well. So I just thought, man, that's pretty cool. She's making really smart use out of that. Really smart use. And then Yesterday, she was taking coconut fiber and she's wrapping it on a piece of bamboo right here. And what's your idea on that, Mel?
Well, because it is a vine, so they're gonna crawl it
Also,
here.
this plant here's a vine, huh?
Yes, yeah.
And so that's what you're doing. You're
Yes,
preparing a place for it to crawl up. Okay, well, I wasn't familiar with that particular plant, so now I know. It looks like, did you transplant some basil back here?
Yes.
It needs to be moved. You need to get it out of there. It's not getting no light, and it looks really dry.
Yeah.
Let's get it out of there. It's getting abused back there.
Yeah. Don't like it.
Here, let's bring it out. Let's bring it out over here with these. It needs water really bad too, Mel. It's dry. Put it over here. And these are trees right here that we've been taking different things and transferring them from right over where I was just at. This was which ones? Huh? Jackfruit. And is it all these are just the jackfruit, right? Yeah, all these are just the jackfruit. So we got those in pots, and we can let them grow off. We can share them with people, or who knows, Mel might get enterprising and sell them. She is continuing. Wow, you got some beautiful rocks right there now, Mel. She's getting up early every morning and heading down the beach and finding different stones, and it's like so many other people here do too. I mean, it's like a competition.
A lot of competition, so that's why, you know, like James, you know, while he was still sleeping, me, I already get up and go straight to the.
She got a little small bucket she
Sure.
carries, a little about 1 gallon, little paint can. She carries that, and she makes trips back and forth with it.
Yeah.
And she's had the kids actually joining her in with her a little bit here lately too.
Projects here and there.
I catch you doing it during the daytime. I see you in the evening, whenever the mood strikes you. Yeah, and I'm just watching it just grow here with these stones and the beds. I mean, just look at this. It's just becoming more beautiful. She's dividing them by colors, different color stones. And man, that is a cool looking stone right there. Look at that.
Yes, yeah.
That is so awesome. This actually, I didn't even notice this one. This is the first time I've seen it with you guys. Look at this. Isn't it just beautiful? Just constantly changing here. And you know, Mel, she's got to represent. You see that? She's got to represent. My solar panel's getting bigger here. Every day, the solar panel's growing bigger, taller, and longer. So amazing. I bet you could do that on a time lapse. And it's already got a new one spiraling out right here on this banana. I said just chop them old ones off. They're gonna molt anyway. And these things are so resilient, these bananas. And look here, it's got a new one unspiraling out of there right now. Tell you, do you always ever stop and look at these plants and just think about how amazing it all is? How it's all packed up perfect. Just look at all this. Look at this engineering in this. You ever just stop and look at the world and think about how amazing it is? How this can just grow itself and knows exactly what to do. It's just like a computer program. Maybe it is. That is just amazing. So amazing. Just look how perfect. Never stop appreciating these things in life. So the guys up here have been stripping down all these little blocks, and some of the outer part of the cribbing. Sorry there. I'm having a little rough morning. Hold on. So the guys have been up here stripping down all the outer part of the cribbing from all the concrete pour yesterday. I told them don't pull it all yet. Get it broke down part of the way. Leave the bolts in. Leave the main part on. And we'll pull that a little later in the day. I want to give that a little bit more time to cure before we strip it down. So meanwhile, over here across the front, yesterday, right towards the end of the day, we set the cocoa lumber and set the steel. I'm going to bring the steel around the column and tie it in. And then down here at the other end of this steel, when I say steel, I mean rebar, deformed bar. Better be careful what I call it. And having to bend it around again down here. So on both ends, it's bent perfect. Now, one of the mistakes I caught them making, and we had a long talk about it yesterday, is say like this steel's here on this column, you see? But this steel's flexible. It can move. I mean, look at this. You can shake that, see? All right. And so when you first have all that standing up over the stirrups, that does not mean that column's level. And what they would do when they get ready to tie the steel between one column to the next is they would just take a measurement, measure here to down there, bend it, they measure up again. Well, the thing is, the column may not have been level when you did that. And then when we would come time to come form our walls, and I'll check the level on it, check the plumb, excuse me there again, when I would go to check the plumb on it, I would find, you know, that it was not plumb, and we need to put a ratchet strap and crank it over to the left or crank it over to the right and all this. And when we got it plumb, then I would find that their steel was either too short or too long, and it might be sticking way out here, and they'd be trying to just take a hammer and beat it around and all. So yesterday I had stopped and have a talk with them that whatever the measurement is down there at the ground, at the base, is what the measurement should be for all of these, and that they need to get this column plumb before they tie the steel. Get it plumb first. Pull over, get a brace tied off on it, and get it plumb, and then tie your steel. And for instance, right here, they did that. Look here, I just now saw this. They took a tie wire here, and they got a tie wire up there. They got an X here. Look, you see it? There, and they got this one pulling down to the bottom over here on this one, and from the top of this one pulling down the bottom of that one, and they got the two plumb with each other before they did this. So see, they listened to what I told them. That's the first I seen that, and that's a very good way to do it. Good idea on their part. And now it's nice and uniform. Another thing I had to talk with them yesterday about is the steel placement. And you see, we're already this far in this project, but there's still a learning process, and there's always reminders and having to still continually teach. And another thing that I had to talk with them about yesterday as a group is before they tie more steel, think ahead about your steel placement, your spacing on it. And let me show you what I mean about that. When I drill these sheets, I start out at the bottom of the sheet here, and I come up 4 inches. So the first bolt right there is 4 inches up. 4 inches up off the bottom of the plywood. And then from the bottom of the plywood, which would be your floor level, I come up 2 foot, 4 foot, 6 foot, and then at the top, I just come down 4 inches again. This is on an 8-foot sheet. Same thing from the side. I come in 4 inches, but then I back up from the outside measure to 2 feet, which is the middle of the sheet, and we end up with a perfect run down the middle, 4 inches in. So everyone's got 4 inches in from the corners, 4 inches down, 4 inches up, but then pulling from the bottom of the sheet, not from that 4-inch hole, from the bottom of the sheet coming up, it's on 2 foot increments. So I told them, stop placing your steel right in line. You see this hole? See that hole? Right in line with your steel. See that? Look at that. Right in line with your steel. And when you go to run your PVC and your bolt through, you're hitting the deform bar, the rebar. So I told them, you need to think ahead that at 2 foot, 4 foot, 6 foot, where your bolts are going to be, and avoid tying steel in that area. So that is what they have supposed to have done this time. I'm really curious to see if it's actually going to work out that way. I'm about to check it right now. So there we go. There still is 2 inches down below the 2 foot mark. About 1.5 inches below the 4 foot. And let's see here. And a little bit down below the 6 foot. So they've done well right there. And that's exactly what we need them to do. What I'm thinking about doing is we get a few more of these walls shot right here, is I'll take down the tarps, because right now you can't see much of these tarps up here. I'll take down the tarps and I'll do a aerial shot from above, and you'll be able to see the layout. But it's definitely taking shape and coming right along. They stripped down part of the cribbing off of there this morning, cleaned it all up, but I asked them to give that a few more hours today before they strip the actual form itself off. Make sure that the outer surface of the concrete stays bonded together when we peel those sheets, makes less blemishes. So they're working on doing that now. I gave them the green light to go for that. Da, 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 da. Okay, it's anticlimactic. I bet it's got some screws in the bottom. They only thought they had it ready. Wah, wah, wah. How's this happening? I think the big canoe is gonna have to come over there. The big white carabao. Look at that, I told you. I told you. One push from me, I did 4 of them. 4 to 1. One-handed too, and still recording. Man. 4 to 1. Y'all remember that? Y'all make me mad. I might be fat and ugly, but I'm strong. Yeah, it looks good. It does. It looks. It's all great. That's easy peasy right there. Okay, which one we doing next? Let's get this short one out of the way here, because we're gonna move it anyway. Yeah. So let's pull this one here, because we're gonna be resetting it back to another set of holes. Just set it outside right there. Yeah. Maybe you can lay it down. Just lay it down over there on that side. Yeah, there you go. All right, you ready for the next one? What's holding that corner piece in? What's holding that? Ready to come out? There it goes. I still have 1 screw right there. All right, I think it's ready to pull out. Let me get over here. The sun's really messing the light up. Huh? Think it'd stop a 50 caliber? So there we go. Let's check out the outside. What we gotta do over here? Still got to. Hey, I don't get on that one. It's gonna snap. Yeah, that cocoa lumber there is dangerous. Talim, you be careful, man. that one a break right there. All right, we'll follow up. They got to pull some bolts out in the CR down there. They're knocking out the little stop that we made. Hey, I wish I wouldn't do that, man. That thing slip, it'll break your toe. Lay it down. That's why I say don't lean it. Lay it down. There you go. That crowbar is heavy. That thing fall over. Woo! Ain't nothing painful like a hurt toe, boy. Anyway, he's removing this stop that we put on in this wall. All we do is we just take a piece of plywood, put it up there against the steel, mark where the steel is in each place, cut a little slot. Yeah, you'll get a little bit of weepage out like you did right here. No big deal. It don't really matter. It all knocks right off. So he's getting it all prepped to remove there right now. Let's see. Let's see how it turned out. It's on the front by the steps here. Coming up the front steps. It looks pretty nice. It sure does. It looks really nice. Cool, cool, cool. So I think you're getting the bolts out on this one right now. Yeah, that's a nice solid wall right there. Over here, some rebar is having to be bent over and adjusted. This was what we put in for the wall for this bedroom. And they got the part that adjoins my master bath on the other side, about the first 10 pieces or so. They got it pretty straight where it's supposed to be. But then when it got down here to the walk-in closet, it took a jump. You can see it down through here. Took a jump over. Some of those they've already bent. Jumped over as much as 2 inches, which is going to be out of the parameters of the thickness of our wall. And I'm not going to reset the wall to adjust for some steel that was misplaced. So they're just going to chisel back a little groove there and bend the steel over and bring it back up. When we pour the wall, really this wall is just a wall. It's not no particular load bearing. Everything in a solid concrete home can be load bearing, but as long as it's, all I say, I guess, is this will be okay. It will be okay. He'll knock that concrete, he'll knock that steel over in that concrete groove now. Boy, and that concrete is solid too, boy. You hear that, man? Does that sound like anything weak? That concrete's got some solid sounds to it. It has got some tinsel. So this is one that's going to be at the CR. Can you stand a little bit to the side there, bro? Thank you. Let's see how the window came out. Filled it all the way up. That's the way we wanted it. Looks good. Looks good.
Ow!
So they're going to do this sheet way up there right now. It's down ground level here, going up. There it is. There went the slag. This here's a fail. I wasn't here for all of it. I didn't feel good when they were pouring this. I kept going downstairs. In fact, I went to bed. And you see, I drilled the holes. I told them how important it was to keep working that concrete under. This lets the air and lets it rise up. But I would get up every once in a while and come up here to try to check on them as they were pouring. I did not hear that being punched and beat. It's my bed's just right down there. I can hear all those sounds. They swore they were doing it. This is the proof they weren't, because I know what happens that causes that. You're not working it aggressively enough. Of course, this can be patched, and it's going to get patched here very soon. But you can't just throw some concrete in there. It won't bond, and it'll just break off. So when I go to City Hardware, I'm already buying some concrete bonding agent to put on top of the columns that we're about to stand up. And once this window bucks out, we'll just measure the bottom of it, make a straight line, and put a little form on each side and fill that in, but with bonding agent though. Not just trying to throw some plaster in there, because it'll never hold. But right there, you know, it's the good, the bad, the ugly, and there's the ugly right there. So I know what it takes to be aggressive to work that and to keep beating that. Not just a couple times. You can't just walk by and go boom, 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 boom. Okay, it's done. You got to just keep working at it, keep working at it, so you can make that settle in on the sides and rise up. Well, that's part of it. You know, I'm gonna show it and tell the truth. So right there it is. It's repairable. The rest of the window looks good. It got a little bit of over pour right there on that edge. We can knock that off and clean it up, but yeah, that right there, that's a fail. I came up here on this one. They had already poured up to it, and I beat on that myself up there pretty aggressively. I took a great big sledgehammer and beat on that up there. But when I got to this, when I come up here, they were already poured way up past it on up there. You just have to be attentive. You have to be attentive. It'll all work out. It's all okay. What's wrong? There you go. Hold on. Push. You're just this way only, okay?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
There you go. Well, the wall itself looks okay, other than it's got extra ventilation under the window. Is that where they deliver grab? Huh? They deliver your meal? No need to open window, just slide it under? Like in the jail cell, you just slide the food through? I think well, the column looks pretty good. It came out fairly well. This column will come out. Let's see if I can get the shadow out of it. It came out fairly well. Well, everyone, it's evening time now. Finished to another day. Yep, finished to another day. So the walls are poured there now above the steps coming around. We started forming the next section right up against the front door, just a small bit left there. And we started forming the rest of the way across the front. You can see the black forms there. It is most definitely taking shape. Today, Uncle and admin worked here, setting steel up here for these beams coming across and coming on across to the front of the house. So it's all the way through now, all the way out into the back terrace. So that's pretty nice. I'm glad to see that done. We peeled those forms and set back, and let me show you something here. This is a good opportunity to explain about the 4-inch setback on the forms. So as I explained before, from the edge of this form, I move in 4 inches and set the first hole. So this wall here that was poured in behind back there, slide that back, there's 4 inches from the edge of the end of that concrete over to the hole that the bolt was in when we cast this wall. Now we want to extend this wall here. We had a stopping point. We just take and set back this 4 inches on this form. It's 4 inches back, 4 inches forward. We got an 8-inch overlap right there. Good strong overlap. We'll put our cocoa lumber across here. This is just temporary. Cocoa lumber across here, and that gives us 8 inches of sandwiching down on both sides to extend our wall going on the rest of the way. We don't like a whole lot more until we'll have all of the exterior walls poured. So that's it. I'm gonna wrap this day up. I appreciate all of you watching and just watching it each day. New walls popping up, new things happening as this house goes through its growing stage of becoming from thin air to a solid concrete wall that will be there for generations to come, long after my existence upon this earth, unless something really catastrophic was to ever happen. And it may still stand then. Yeah, so I appreciate you all watching on this journey and being really supportive like you are. I wrote in the comment section to a few of you subs on here, and I mean every word when I say this. I wrote to them that Mel and I have some of the best subs that a YouTube channel could have. We do. You people are wonderful. You are overwhelmingly wonderful. And I want you to know we realize that, and we thank you all so much. Wow. I tell you what, y'all are some pretty uplifting people yourselves. You say that I'm positive, let me tell you, I'm positive from the energy that I get with feedback from you guys too. Thank you very much. Y'all take care, God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.